begins now. Long, long ago, before cities, before ships, before most of the world we know today, there was a jungle. A deep, warm, green jungle in a place we now call Southeast Asia. The air was thick and wet. The trees were tall and strong. And growing quietly among the roots and rivers of this ancient place was a wild plant with long green leaves and a strange curved fruit. This plant was the banana. Scientists believe it has existed for more than 8,000 years, older than the pyramids of Egypt, older than the great cities of Rome or Greece. And then, one day, a human being walked through that jungle, saw the fruit, tasted it, and everything changed. But here is what is interesting, my friend. The wild banana was nothing like the one you eat today. It was small, hard, and full of large, dark seeds. So how did this strange fruit become the smooth, sweet, seedless banana we know? That is where our journey truly begins. The people of Southeast Asia were very intelligent. They watched the world carefully, studied the plants and trees, and slowly, over many generations, they began to do something remarkable. They began to grow bananas on purpose. They selected the sweetest plants, removed the seeds, and replanted year after year. This process is called domestication, and it is one of the oldest discoveries in human history. By around 8,000 years ago, people in Papua New Guinea were already farming bananas, one of the earliest examples of agriculture anywhere in the world. The banana was not just food. It was life. And over time, it became something more. In many ancient communities, the banana tree was considered sacred. Its leaves were used in ceremonies. Its fruit was offered to gods. And then, slowly, traders and explorers carried banana plants across the sea, to India, to Africa, to the Middle East, and wherever people tasted it, they loved it. For thousands of years, the banana lived in warm and tropical places, known and loved in Asia, Africa, and the islands of the Pacific. But one part of the world had never seen it: Europe. Then, in the 15th and 16th centuries, the age of exploration began. When Portuguese sailors arrived in West Africa in the early 1500s, they found banana plants already growing there. They tasted the fruit, loved it, and did what explorers always did. They took it with them. They carried banana plants on their ships to the Caribbean and Central America, where the fruit grew fast, strong, and in great quantities. But in Europe and North America, the banana was still rare, exotic, almost otherworldly. That was about to change, because in the 19th century, something powerful was coming. Something that would turn the humble banana into one of the most important products in the history of global trade. Something that would change nations, start wars, and make some men very, very rich. In the second half of the 1800s, the world was changing fast. Steamships crossed oceans in days, railways crossed continents in hours, and refrigeration made it possible to carry fresh fruit across long distances without spoiling. All of these things together created something new: the possibility of selling tropical fruit to the entire world. And there were men who saw this opportunity very clearly. One of the most important was an American businessman named Minor Keith. In the 1870s and 1880s, while building a railway through Costa Rica, he planted banana plants along the sides of the tracks, used his trains to carry them to port, and shipped them north. Americans, who had barely tasted a banana before, loved them immediately. Sweet, soft, easy to eat, and cheap. The business exploded. Companies formed. Enormous amounts of land were purchased in Honduras, Guatemala, Colombia, and Costa Rica. And by the early 1900s, the banana had become one of the most sold fruits in the world. But this great success had a dark side, a very dark side. The United Fruit Company was the most powerful banana company in history. Founded in 1899, it controlled enormous amounts of land across Central America and the Caribbean. Railways, ports, telegraph lines, hundreds of thousands of workers, and strong political connections in Washington. The countries where it operated became known, with great sadness, as banana republics. Nations so controlled by foreign money that their own governments had very little real power. When workers tried to organize and ask for better pay, the company used its influence to stop them. In 1928, in Colombia, a group of banana workers went on strike. They wanted fair wages and safe conditions. The Colombian military was sent in, and the result was a massacre. Hundreds of workers killed, the exact number still unknown. This dark moment was later written about by Gabriel Garcia Marquez in his famous novel 100 Years of Solitude. The banana, once a sacred fruit and a gift from the earth, had become a tool of power and exploitation. For most of the late 1800s and early 1900s, when people in North America and Europe ate a banana, they ate one specific type, the Gros Michel, or Big Mike. By most accounts, it was a remarkable fruit, larger, creamier, and sweeter than what we eat today, with a thick peel that made it easy to transport and a deep, rich flavor that many people never forgot. If you have ever tasted banana candy or banana ice cream, that artificial flavor was actually created to imitate the Gros Michel, not the banana we know today. The world was built around Big Mike. And then a disease arrived from the soil, a fungus called Fusarium oxysporum, known as Panama disease. It entered through the roots, moved through the water inside the plant, and killed the trees. There was no cure. Plantation after plantation was destroyed. And by the 1950s, it was over. The Gros Michel was commercially extinct. Gone. The banana the world had loved for a century had disappeared. The world needed a new banana, quickly. And the answer came from a variety called the Cavendish, named after the Duke of Devonshire, who had grown it in his greenhouse in the 1800s. It was smaller, less creamy, and many people said it had less flavor. But it had one very important quality. It was resistant to Panama disease. And so, through the 1950s and 1960s, the banana industry made the switch. Millions of Cavendish plants were grown and distributed across the tropics. New plantations were built, new supply chains created. Today, the Cavendish is the banana in every supermarket, in every country, in every season. The most widely traded fruit on Earth, with more than 100 billion eaten every year. The Cavendish won. But here is the quiet, uncomfortable truth. It had a weakness of its